What's up guys, my name is Eric and in this video I'll show you how to quickly and easily make your own custom vinyl windshield banner. At the end of the video I'll talk about how long it took to do this project, about how much it costs, and how much you might be able to charge if you wanted to offer this as a service for others. So before we get into the instructional part of the video, let's go over the tools and supplies you'll want to have on hand to do this project. So here you'll see I have a squeegee and some micro squeegees, a tape measure or some sort of measuring device that you can use, a heat source, and here I have a heat gun, a wrap glove, which just makes it a little bit easier to apply the vinyl or smooth it down using your fingers. You'll want some sort of utility knife for cutting your vinyl, and then I have here just a grease pencil for making marks after I found the measurements that I want to put the vinyl banner down on the windshield. And then this lastly is just my toolkit, which I use for carrying all these items except for the heat gun, so that I have all these things easily accessible and on me so that I can get the project done quickly and easily and efficiently. With that, let's go ahead and get into the instructional portion of the video. Begin by cleaning the area of your windshield where you're going to apply your vinyl banner with a alcohol and water solution, something that will take away dirt, grease, residues, oils, things like that that might prevent the vinyl from sticking properly. I'm just using that in addition to a microfiber cloth to clean it off very well. Once you've done that, go ahead and mark down, I'm doing it right on my A-pillars and the glass, how far down you want the banners to go. This is just going to be a straight across type of banner, and so I'm marking even distances from both sides of the windshield. From there, what I'm using is knifeless tape, and I'm anchoring one point down to where I made my one mark, and then I'm going to bring that knifeless tape straight across and then try to land it, keeping the knifeless tape as straight as possible, to then land on the other point that I marked down. You can see that I'm doing a couple tries. I didn't like how the first few laid down, so I'm just popping it back up and kind of giving it just a little tension to keep the knifeless tape taut and so that the line will come down nice and straight. Once I've got it where I want it to be, go ahead and cut off the other end, leaving yourself enough extra on the ends so that you can peel those off without any issues. Go over the knifeless tape with your finger or your squeegee to make sure it is set properly. Now you can see I've already got a piece of vinyl cut out big enough to cover all the way across the windshield, but also up and down. And so I'm going ahead and starting to peel it. I just peeled off one end. Once you peel off one end and put it down, you can use magnets or tape to hold it down there. I just tried tacking it down a little bit, and you'll see in a moment that I probably should have used a magnet or tape to help hold it down a little bit better. Because as I go on to peel this off here in a little bit, you'll see that it pops off on me here. Go ahead and peel off the rest of your backing paper, go straight across, which I did, and then what I'm doing is anchoring the center, and then from there I'm going to go and basically squeegee towards the side that I'm on, laying everything down, lift up the vinyl if I need to a little bit to help get any air bubbles out and reduce any wrinkles, give it a little tension if needed, making sure that I fully cover the knifeless tape, but also get into the crevices where the glass and the body of the car meet. This vinyl does have a protective plastic cap that you can install with on. I like to take it off after a little while because I had unrolled it and moved the vinyl around a little bit. The plastic cap was a little loose, so it's just kind of getting in the way. So I peel it off. Make sure that your buffer is nice and smooth and clean and new so that you don't scratch your vinyl as you are applying it. I'm just now taking off the rest of the plastic cap and then going to finish off and squeegee down the other side. You can see I'm giving it just a little bit of tension to help smooth everything out, and then laying down the vinyl, making sure that I press very firmly, and then bring the vinyl all the way up to the edge of the windshield and to the A-pillars and fully covering the knifeless tape. I'm taking a little extra time to make sure that I have all that vinyl tucked in nice and tightly against the A-pillars and the beginning leading edge of the roof so that I create a nice good straight cut line that I can then use to trim out the excess vinyl from off of the roof and on the sides of the windshield by the A-pillars. Just using the hard edge of my squeegee now to do that, kind of just defining those lines, using my soft edge of the squeegee to make sure everything is pressed down and that I do have all the air bubbles out and that the vinyl is applied firmly and very well. Once taking care of the passenger side, I'm doing the same on the driver's side, using my hard edge to define those lines and tuck everything in nice and tight on the leading edge of the roof where the glass meets and the A-pillar. I'm going to give it a little bit of heat to see if there's any bubbles that I might have missed. The heat will cause any air in um, the vinyl to expand, and you'll be able to find those bubbles. You can address those right away before cutting everything. You can see I'm just going over with heat really quickly, and then to try to find those bubbles. That will also help settle or set the vinyl a little bit. Adhesive will start to flow a little bit more when you add heat, and Vvivid is in particular a heat activated vinyl, so it just makes the adhesive grip a little bit harder. Once I'm satisfied that I have all the excess air out and that I have everything tucked nice and tight, I'm going to go ahead and trim off some of that excess as you saw, and then pull my knifeless tape. So grab that, pull, kind of give it a quick tug to break the filament from the green tape. You can see I did that, and I'm pulling the knifeless across, and it cuts the vinyl as I do that. Coming around to the other side, pulling the rest of it off. So I get to the other end, just holding it down and pulling the rest of the knifeless tape there. Pull off the excess vinyl that's been cut, and then the next thing you'll want to do is pull off the green carrier tape. There'll be two pieces now. Basically, the side that's not under the vinyl, and then the side that's under the vinyl, you want to peel off both. And then once you've done that, go ahead and squeegee down the area that you cut, going away from the cut. You can see that I'm squeegeeing in downward, which is the cut, away and out from the cut, not going into the vinyl. I'm doing one last quick tuck on the vinyl where it meets the roof leading edge and the A-pillar side, but then also I'm using my micro squeegee as well, or in this case, so that I get a nice, very good, clean, crisp line. Then now I'm just going to take the tip of my blade and basically just float it right in that line. There's a gap or seam that you use your squeegees to define, and basically the tip of my blade is on top of the glass but underneath the rubber seal, so that way I'm floating it in between that gap and not cutting anything, the rubber seal, that so that there would be no leakage of water or anything like that in there. And you don't need to put very much your blade out, just a little bit, enough to cut the vinyl. This vinyl is actually pretty thin, and so it cuts very easily without any issue. And so just continue on cutting through the vinyl, just taking your time, being careful. I took a little extra step there to retrace my vinyl using the micro squeegee to make sure that my line is clear and distinct, and so that when I do cut the vinyl between the glass and the seal, that only the vinyl is cut and it has a good guide and cut line, so that I'm not cutting that seal as mentioned earlier before. Take your time, go slow, make sure you're doing it right. As you can see, I took my time doing that. Once you're done cutting all the way through, go ahead and peel off your vinyl. Take a little bit of time, do it carefully. Once you've peeled your vinyl off, take your squeegee or micro squeegee and tuck in the area that you just cut to make sure that all the vinyl is laid down and that there are no edges that are still sticking up, even in the smallest amount, because you don't want any water, dirt, or anything else or debris to get in there. And so for all intents and purposes, this is now finished. And so this is the end product now. Took it outside. You can see this is the holographic blue chrome that Vvivid released late 2020. Anyway, so looks really great in the sun. Nice clean line using that knifeless tape, making this windshield banner. And so if you take your time and follow the instructions, you can have a really cool looking windshield banner just like this as well. So now that we've finished the instructional portion of the video, let's talk about how long this project took to do, about how much it costs to do this project, and how much you might be able to charge if somebody asks you to do this as a service for them and put a vinyl wrap banner on their car. All right, guys, so in terms of project time, as you saw in the instructional video, this is a very quick, very fast project to do. There are a couple steps that you have to do ahead of time, like cleaning and then positioning and marking and things like that. Those only take a few seconds each. Probably less than 5 minutes total at that, if that, to do the cleaning and then marking and measuring out where you want to go. A little bit of prep as far as applying your knifeless tape, depending on how kind of picky or fussy you are. It could take you a few seconds to do. It could take you a couple of minutes. And then the actual application of the vinyl itself, super simple, super easy. Just lay out the vinyl, give it a little pull over both sides, smooth it out, lay it down, maybe 5-10 minutes at that at most. So realistically, you can have this project done start to finish, from cleaning and prep all the way to trimming out and then post heating and making sure everything is down nice and tightly, within 20 to 30 minutes at the most. you're really fast and you just want to just get it done with, you could probably get this all done in 10 minutes or less. So how much does this project cost? Well, generally speaking, it's going to depend on, at least for material costs, how much material you need to go across your windshield and how far down you want to go. Generally speaking, for most cars, my experience is that a 1 foot by 5 foot roll of vinyl will suffice to cover most people's needs or wants in putting a vinyl banner. You get 5 feet of vinyl, but it does stretch a little bit. And when you peel off 5 feet worth of vinyl from the 1 foot roll, lengthwise, you'll probably gain like another eighth to a quarter inch worth of vinyl. And then if you need to, you can stretch that vinyl if it doesn't quite make it, but you don't want to stretch it too much, no more than maybe 10% at most. So how much does a 1 foot by 5 foot roll generally cost? Well, depending on where you buy it from, and I'll have links in the description to buy different rolls of vinyl in this size, anywhere from $7 or $8 if you get it, say, from eBay, that's a generic Chinese brand, no-name vinyl, to upwards of $30 for a 1 foot for 5 foot roll. If you buy something specialty like a carbon fiber or like a camo textured print or even chrome, for example. Okay, so now that we know how long it takes to do the project and about what your material costs would be, let's talk real quickly about how much you might be able to charge if somebody said, hey, I want you, I like that banner on your windshield. Could you do that for me? And so let's talk about real quickly how much you might be able to charge somebody to do that. So if it's your friend or if it's your buddy, you may just charge that person the cost of your materials. So your 1 foot by 5 foot roll, for example, just say, hey man, just buy the vinyl and I'll install it for you. You can buy it, at these links, for example. If you were going to charge somebody for it, say you're doing this as a business, there's other things to factor in and consider, like labor time rates, your utilities, your rent, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to factor all that in and kind of come up with an equation. So you know what your material cost is going to be, anywhere from $7 or $8 up to 30-ish or more dollars, depending on what material that your customer or client wants to use. And then from there, knowing that it takes anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes, you might want to decide on what the hourly rate might be as a means to gauge how much you would charge. So let's just say, for example, it's only going to take you 10 minutes. You can break down your hourly rate, and let's say you want to charge, I don't know, $50 an hour. And so you would break it down that way and then add that cost to the cost of material, and that's probably what you would charge your client or customer. If it takes 30 minutes or you think it's going to take 30 minutes, you can do that. I know that sometimes, say, for example, in automotive maintenance, they just charge you a flat rate where they know an oil change, even though the oil change may take 15 minutes, they will charge you just for 30 minutes as a standard block kind of charge. So you might consider doing that. Hey, I know that I charge $50 an hour. I know it's going to take 30 minutes, or I'm going to charge you 30 minutes, whether it takes me 5 minutes or less. And so therefore, on top of your material cost, you would be charging $25 on top of that. And that can be fair and reasonable because, say, you are a business and you are a brick and mortar business where you do have rent and utilities and other overhead to consider, then yes, that additional charge or cost does cover all of those, or attempts to cover all those other expenses that goes into applying that vinyl wrap to the customer's car. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you in some way, instructive and informative. If you did like it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button to give it a like. And also subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification button so you get notices whenever I post new content to the channel. I've got more videos and projects in the works and on the way, and I'd love to share those with you. Thanks again for watching, guys. Have a great day.